Alright, good evening everybody. How are you all tonight? For all of you that are watching, that's great. If not, that's cool too. I'm going to be doing just a bit more of my low tier flying. I tend to stick with that. That's usually my planes of choice, I guess you could say. And I usually start off the BA-65 using the Italian tree. It's actually kind of nice because the planes are relatively cheap and you can build yourself all the way up. And I mean, right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 planes with talisman, so that boosts your research points, so it helps you bump through all of these ones. So when you're doing some decent planing, it's good to add up. Anyways, our warp bond tonight is going to be, it looks like activists, and that's just win required number of battles with needed activity percent. So we're going to jump in. Of course, that's a 2 to 4 rank. I do have my 1 2 rank plane that if you do a lot of it on these other planes, even if you're playing this plane, your rank 2 plane for a good portion of time, they seem to adjust into it. I'm not too sure if that's exactly how it works, but anyways, it's something to check out if you're all interested. Let's just see what we can do. Tonight I am drinking Hop Circle IPA. It's a Phillips Brewing and Malting Company. It's brewed down in Victoria, BC. That's in Canada for anybody out of country. And it's really neat. The artwork is really cool. Little spaceship on there, little hop alien. It's a very hoppy drink, so if you like hops, it's a good one to try out. There's the cracks. So, the last few nights when I've been playing, the wait time's been relatively long, which kind of confuses me, but maybe more people are playing the tanks since I've released the Italian tanks and everything else and all the supersonic stuff. It's all stuff I'm never really too interested in, but it's always fun to, just have a good time. Like, that's all I ever do. Just go in, have a good time. You either you do good or you do bad. Whatever works the best, so. So I think later tonight I'm going to be probably flying 2 of my rank 3 planes to try and maybe work on the rank 3 warbond. I'm not too sure how much I do that. I've got it just enough into my ranking system that it seems to be I'm at 3, which usually puts me into the 2 to 3s and the 3 to 4s, so it's kind of a nice middle ground. Usually I guess probably between 2, 1 or 2 and 3 is probably the range that most likely be playing within that one setup. Looks like tonight I'm going to be doing some, well, looks like some rank 2 planeage. So let's see what I can do with my rank 1 planes. Let's go on in. So with this BA-65, I tend to fly down as low as I can, get myself to the ground. It's a better low altitude attacker versus high, but you can use it high altitude. It does make a good plane attacker as well, but I tend to use it for ground striking. So there is a P-40 on our way here. Looks like the P-36 has already spotted him, and then let's see what he can do. Pull up, and then when I hit the grounds I usually just go to my flaps up. Not too sure why I do that, I just tend to, so let's see if I can help this guy out a little bit. Couple hits on him, that's all I need. There's a P-26 flying in here, so I'm going to try and pick him out, but might not succeed. So, looks like they just crashed into themselves. Well done, other team. As we can see down here, and I heard an explosion behind me, so. Alright, that happens. Happens on my team too. Sometimes I'm that guy that does that. Never intentional, but looks like that guy is not too happy with me flying down on the ground. Didn't do much for the ground striking. I will try it a little little bit in my S81. I'm just going to turn the background down a little bit, just so it's not as loud for you guys listening, and I don't feel like I'm yelling. Let's see. I'm going to turn master volume down. That'll probably cut that in about half, so there we go. That looks a little bit more reasonable. I feel like I'm able to talk at a normal level. Explosions in the background. It's always fun to listen to the aftermath after. Now my S81 is actually packing 500-pound bombs. They're 500 kilogram bombs, but their only explosive mass is 216. So I guess it's more of a 246 800, 860 pound or kilogram drop. So that's not too bad versus the 2000 I always thought I would have. But it's alright, because that's usually enough to take care of good chunks of bases, and if you're going for ground units, if you can hit them, it's usually a pretty good one shot on them. But in this plane I tend to go for more of the pillboxes, because those I know usually are the last things remaining whenever I've come into some long arcade battle matches. So I usually drop 2 on there. That's about a 420 kilogram bomb load, so usually that's enough to take care of the pillbox if you manage to hit the pillbox. So excuse me for my gas there. This hops does give you a bit more gas than some might want. Just burpy though, so it's all good. Bubbles. Alright, I'm gonna go into my bomber sight view. I see a BF-109 in the corner. I hope he's gonna leave me alone, or the A-36 is gonna get him, so there we go, just drop into that. Now my reticule is actually right about there, I'm pretty sure. I haven't fully figured that one out, but I tend to try and base it off that, so I'm just gonna drop 2 right there and see if that ends up taking them out. Oh, and of course somebody else gets the pillbox before I do. Thank you, ground units on that one, but that's not bad. I did split my loads, so I do have 2 more shots. I just gotta figure out where I can drop them now. There are some medium tanks. There is another pillbox. Maybe I'll target that one. Go back into my bomber view. It's actually a good view to go in when you're bombing like high altitudes. So, and we are at about 3,200 meters. So it's a little bit, about 3 kilometers in the air. So it's pretty high right there. But I am going to try that front crosshairs again and see if that hits anything. There is a V-156 coming this way. I'm just gonna spend my way back towards base. Isn't realistic, like that's all the bombs you got, and you have to turn back to base. So I'm just gonna see if we can watch that bomb cam. And there was my target. Let's see. I dropped it with the top crosshairs on there, and it actually fell down to the back ones. So in that case, when my sight, when my crosshairs is up here, I should be focusing on this one. And then when it's crosshairs down here, you should be focusing on this crosshair down here. So that kind of makes sense. It's good to know. I'm learning still. I've always had this bomber in my playgroup, but I've never like done really good with it, so I'm actually trying to get better at it. And I think like in these rank 2 ones, like the higher up ones, I think it's a good way to test it. Alright, so my crosshair is actually drifting around right now. I'm gonna hope that hits him. I don't know if you guys saw, but the crosshair is right here. It was right about there when I dropped it there, so we'll see how that works out. I don't want to go into my bomb camera because it'll drop another bomb. I haven't figured out a shortcut to that cam any other way, so I just kind of gotta hope for the best on that one. If I see a bomb, if I see a little explosion down here, I am happy. And I missed it, so I saw those drop in. This is why I say I'm not a very good bomber. I saw those drop in because I was coming in on a weird angle. so it was hard to gauge properly, but that's all part of learning again. So I think I'm just gonna drop these last two on this base. Happens to be right in front of me, so let's get some damage on that maybe. I found even on this plane, like, the higher altitude bombing is pretty fun, but it's also fun to get down low and do like some front lines bombing. So it is a frontline bomber as well, so, and you can tell that just by reading the description there. Frontline bomber to medium bomber. So I shouldn't be super high altitudes, and I don't have a huge bomb load, so, but it's enough to have fun with and enjoy the game. It's very pretty when you're way up in the air. There's the sun reflecting off my plane there. Sorry if my graphics aren't, they're not cranked full. I don't necessarily need them at full, but it does look pretty when the sun's shining. And I got a base destroyed, so at least I've done something. I'm going to try for this pillbox again. No, I'm not going to be able to get him, but maybe this pillbox over here. We'll go into this sight line here. Try and get as level as I can with it, which is probably my best bet. It's just a straight line shot in. Crosshair is just in front, so I mean, anywhere in that little crosshair should probably hit a pretty nice, somewhere within the area. I'm going to try maybe just in between the two. Maybe that's my best bet. Of course, I had a little twitch there in my hand, kind of threw my bombs a little left-right, but we'll see if they hit. It's fun to watch the bombs if you're not too worried about your plane. You can watch your plane. Anyways, oh, there it is. Bombs going around. You can't see anybody around. Oh, look, there's an SB-2M coming in front of me. So I'll go back into my actual plane here. And well, center between the two happened to actually be really effective. Took out that one pillbox, and as I've said in this, the medium, anything higher than rank 2 for ground strike, I mean, the pillboxes always seem to be the last thing standing, because, you know, an attacker or a fighter, some of them have bombs on them, but I mean, they're still usually a one drop, and then they have to reload. In arcade, you can get that concept, and realistically, you don't. You get the one bomb, and that's your one bomb, so that's why it's kind of fun to play both of them. See, now when it comes to ground units, I seem to suck miserably at hitting them from this height. So we'll see if I can actually succeed in hitting something this time. That would be quite nice. Oh, and of course, I mean, I just dropped one. Just gonna reserve that last one. There is a I-15. I've run around with you gonna die. I've seen him floating around before. This guy down here. He seems like an alright guy sometimes. A couple of these people I start to recognize after a while. You've flown these same planes for a while, and everybody's just flying the plane same as well. So it's gonna do an interesting little upside down Ilmaman, which is just a way to turn your plane really quick. And it looks like somebody just took out that last base and won us the ground. So there you go. So obviously didn't do that great. Not high altitude. Only hit one thing. But I mean, 10th is not too bad for me because I didn't lose multiple planes. I just lost a one. So even though I didn't make much for credits, which isn't everything anyways, you can see that the research points there. You can see that they just kind of show up as just an extra in the credits. So you see 146, so your research points are 100%, so you're technically getting, you're just getting 200%. So it's a pretty good research setup. So, alright, let's try this again, maybe get into a lower tiered one. It'd be nice to actually make my war bond, but we'll see how well that works. Sometimes it's difficult for me and I get frustrated and shift it. But we'll see what we can do. Just having a drink. Alright, so this one I think think is actually a lower tier portion of it. So I think they're light vehicles. Yeah, so they're light vehicles. So this is actually more of a map for me, or with this plane, because it throws me into the, let's see, I am a 2.0, so it throws me into the lower twos, I guess you could say. The 2.0s to 1.7s, so sometimes, I don't know, I see it 2.7 or 3 sneaks in there, I'm like, Christ, how did you manage to get in here? But again, whatever's in your preset, you know, that kind of gauges your average. So I mean, some people could it only shows the 4 of them, right? But they could have 4 other crews of different variable levels. They just take, I think, the primary ones, the first 4. I'm not too sure how it exactly works, but anyways, we'll move on to takeoff laps. We'll get down a little bit, just float along the trees. I tend to read these tips a lot, so they say to fly at treetop level makes it harder to hit, and I can kind of see that, especially if there's no little like, oh, here's X target, so you should target him, because you can see him perfectly fine. So realistically, you don't get all of this, you just see the little dot until you get closer to it. So I'm gonna try and sneak in here. I'm just gonna drop straight down. I'm gonna try and get a straight on run on it, because I feel I could probably do a little bit better on him. I am getting shot at, so this may or may not work. I'm not too sure. Nice. The PBY comes in, cleans them up really nice. But kind of takes away from my fun, because he just destroyed the group I wanted to take out. But that's part of the game, right? First one there is the first to the punch. So there is another bunch of armored cars here. If I can make it to them, I'm actually gonna try and drop bombs on them and target a few of them. And if I crash, I crash, but at least I got a couple in there. So I mean, it's not the best way to do it, but at least it's a fun, and it's fun when you can get in there and have a good time with them. I do have another backup if I ever do want to run them again. I could run them again. I'm going to fly my 202 right now, so 202 is my rank 2 plane that puts me into that rank 2 position for war bonds and whatnot. So I'm going to actually take out G47. I'm going to go after that BB1, who's actually right behind the mountains right now. He's targeting these guys right here, so we'll see if I can get them. I don't know how much support I'll have. Like, these planes still are faster than what I have, so it does make it a little bit tricky for me to catch up to them, but I intend to target more of the attackers and bombers. I tried to sneak under him and try and survive, but you know, I could still, in theory, shoot, but I'm just going to bail out. So that was my bad. I got a little cocky and tried sneaking in there, and I probably shouldn't have gotten in so close. I should have, you know, but that's part of the game. You have a good time, and that's what it is. So it's fun. It is fun that way. That's what I do like about this game. It's a fun little game to just kick back and have fun on. You don't always have to be competitive about things. So that's like me. I'm not a very competitive person, so I tend to just have some fun. And if I get a decent position or get this or that, you know, I had fun. And it's definitely rewarding when you get those positions, but so I need, like, some of these planes are good just like hit and runs, which isn't a bad thing. It is a good tactic, and it's really a good way to push yourself through the field as well. So he's actually looking at me. So I got a critical hit on him. It's probably enough to send him into the mountain. Yeah. So that's always fun when stuff like that happens. And then, ooh, there's another plane right behind me here. I love the rank does not matter medal. That's always a good one too. So that's why I enjoy my little like 1-3 planes. It's they're going after the 2-3s, the 2-4s, the 2-5s, the 2-7s. It's like, you know what? I can do this. You can do it with any plane, really. It's just sometimes it just comes down to luck. Sometimes it's just, you know, having a good time, relaxing, not getting stressed about it. So just give me a hit. Ah, I'm sorry. Accidentally stole his kill there. But, you know, he's taken out, and that's what you want. So the biplanes are actually really maneuverable. I don't know. So this is when it gets cluttered though, because you get lots of planes in there. And that's when you just kind of sneak out. Like, you know what? Let's go after a different target. And I got the kill anyways, so see that? You don't have to be crazy to do this, but it certainly helps a little bit. That's a famous, well, that's one of my favorite Bob Ross quotes. He's a 80s painter star, 80s, 90s painter star. He's just does fantastic paintings, so it is great. He is actually, there's a couple on Netflix there, so it is kind of cool. Let's just let him know I'm gonna go after this guy as well, because naval is part of the ground in this map. They've actually implemented quite a bit of it since the naval patch, so it's kind of nice. I think that P400, he's a little fast. He's gonna have to pull back and try again. And he's just doing a loop-to-loop. By the time I reach him, he'll probably be taken out, so checking my mini-map, I'm just gonna go after this guy. Because you know what? Sometimes you can do that. Now again, I am playing just like arcade, so I do have the track line, so I tend to focus a lot on that to kind of clear it up. But it's, you know, it's arcade. It's acceptable, right? So I'm gonna go after this patrol boat because I know this plane can actually take him out. This plane can do some pretty decent ground attack in the right conditions, of course. So now I see some red floating around here. I think, yeah, he's snuck in underneath me. I'll give him a thanks anyways. And then we're gonna move inland, I guess. We have to get over there. I'm gonna try and take this guy out. Oh, didn't have a chance to. But look, the Balancer Award. I always liked the Balancer Award because that means I was the one that took down the most. I think it's one battle rank higher than me. So it's kind of a rewarding thing. It's like, yeah, I'm in a 1-3. I was taking out 2-5s, 2-7s, right? So it doesn't matter much about your rank sometimes. And I got 4th overall, which isn't that terrible at all. Okay, so I got Soviet Plane Destroyer 2. So I guess I've gotten one of that. That's just destroying Russian planes. Triple strike rank does not matter. So destroyed a vehicle 1 to 2 battle ranks higher than me. And since my planes are 1, 1-3, 1-7, it's pretty easy if you're doing pretty good. You got a fighter rescue, ground force rescuer, a professional, and a balancer. Destroyed the most vehicles of 1 battle rank higher. So, I mean, that's always rewarding too, because, you know what, I'm flying, a Marcolin, 1.3, and I was tackling some of the higher people, so. 2-7, so I must have been targeting like this guy. I must have got once, and then like, you know, these guys, they are 2.7s, like their squad battle rank is 2.7, so these guys are in a squad. So, and then our top squad was these two. Squad's battle rating was 2.7, so I'm actually I've never really looked at this, but I guess this total battle rating, it's on. It's interesting to look at, but anyways, as you can see, you don't need crazy planes and all that to have a good time. 4th, I always love playing a game round. I'm like, oh, I didn't do that good, and then I pop up, and I'm like, oh, third or fourth, like with like 1,600 points. You know, it's just a rewarding thing. So I think what I'm gonna do, because I've done 2 rounds of that, I've got my warp on there. You'll notice I still have my 65 and my Marcolin on my rank 3. I'm gonna call it rank 3 because this is my rank 3 fighter and a rank 3. Rank 2 bomber actually, so it's rank 2, but I got rank 3 bomber, so kind of like my initial setup, with a little bit more firepower in the bombing and an extra fighter, so the C202 is an extra fighter versus a CR42, so it's a good little mix up. So I'm gonna hop in the BA65, it tends to be the one I take in first. It is a reserve for a reason, so even if you're playing realistic or you got something happen, you get your planes locked out, your reserve can always go into a battle, so that's kind of a nice thing. I did notice that once, because sometimes I think I disconnected once and I tried logging back in, and of course you can't get into the same match, so anyways, my planes were locked out till the match was over, so but I did have my reserve, so I was still able to hop into a reserve at 1.10, right? So it's kind of fun little balance that way. So anyways, so I'm not too familiar with the higher 2-3, like low 3s, higher 2 maps are like, so they're all still ground strikes, so I should be taking out the ground, but not everybody does that. So let's see what we can do. I will start probably in my BA6. Yeah, I'll hop into this guy. He's only got 100 pounds. Oh, he's got 100 pounds now, so I'm gonna actually get him down low and try and do some strafing runs. Bombing runs, strafing run, bombing, strafing runs, so something like that. Anyways, but it's gonna be a bit of a flight. I can see this already. One thing I do like is that when you go into your gunner mode, it just automatically levels your plane off, which is kind of nice because you go back to your third person and your plane's going to keep going up, not crashing to the ground, which has happened to me a couple times. So I think I'm going to try. Looks like there's some things there. I think they're on the other side of the mountain though, so gotta be careful of that. Let's check out the cockpit. It's another placeholder, but the nose is there and the wings are there, so but the gunner's floating around. Oh no, they're on this side. Heavy tanks. So I'm gonna drop down here. These are I'm gonna attack the heavy tanks. I'm gonna try to attack the heavy tanks. They say I suck at height with any bombs greater than or less than 500. Even at 500, I can barely hit tanks. It's really sad. Even when I'm on top of them, I can barely hit them sometimes. I think in my last video before this, I ended up doing that. I'm like, oh, I got 4 bombs, ended up bombing, missed them twice, did it again, missed them again, and then I went into the water. I'm like, you know what, let's go to the water side. So, but we'll see. My indicated airspeed is actually greater than, so if I was in a real plane, my plane would be shredding apart right now. It wouldn't be as bad as a lot higher, but it would be most likely shredding apart. So I'm gonna hopefully hit these planes. Like, I do have a machine gun. Hopefully gonna hit these planes. It's not a very maneuverable plane, that is for sure. Certainly not like the BA65. So, as you can tell, it didn't actually hit anything there. I've never been good at the moving target business unless it's like a big cluster, and I happen to be just like in luck and happen to get the first bomb off. So I'm gonna just run 3 across that. I think that should hit. Didn't destroy it, but it did hit it. I'm gonna drop 3 across there, and hopefully I get that heavy tank. Again, didn't destroy it, but hit it, so I mean, getting better. I don't know if any of you guys saw, but I put my flaps to take off again. I don't know, it's good when you're down low trying to do low bombing. It doesn't work so well when you're high bombing because you need the speed to keep your altitude up. But even going up higher, it's fun because I feel you have a little bit more maneuverability because it keeps your speed at a lower speed to a point, I think. So I got a slow reload on this, so I'm gonna have to circle around again before I'm fully cycled through for my reload. So hopefully nobody realizes what I'm doing yet on the other team and leave me alone, because people will come and hunt you down. That's what they do. I'm guilty for it as well sometimes. You know, I'll just look for that bomber who's just floating off, and then that's when I tend to get a little cheeky. So oh look, and there's a plane right there. See? Screwed me up. I had a nice run on these tanks. I'm just gonna hope to shit I hit them. So I managed to take them both out. I am hit, so I'm probably not gonna survive much longer, but I have to go to my raised flaps here to try and keep myself up, but that's not gonna work. So I mean, I got two heavy tanks. Two heavy tanks, not bad for me. Considering I can never hit ground targets, and usually I don't have bombs big enough to do that. But you know what I am going to do? I'm still going to go into battle with my BA-65, and I'm going to target those pillboxes. So I'm going to dive down, and then so I'm just going to do just a right flip over with my plane here. Hope to recover from that. That was a little much, as usually I should have had myself in a position of where I was going, so kind of like this, camera-wise, so. But I'm gonna try and take out the light pillbox. I mean, 50s can do it, they're just lights, but it just takes a couple runs, and if you don't hit them, it's not so fun, so. There is a plane right below me. I'm gonna try and get up on his tail. Probably not, because he's a lot more maneuverable than I am. But it kind of worked. It did get in front of him, so it's not as bad. But he's got more maneuverability in that set, so. So hopefully my fighters around me can tag him down, because I really want to try and get into the... Yeah, that plane's just too fast for a BA-65. There's not much I can do on it. Mind you, somebody did take him out, so that's not too bad. I'm alright with that. So I get spawned in here. There we go, T3, 4 for taking out that guy for me, so. Alright, we'll see what I can do in my 205. So this is a lot like the 202, I find. It's just in the same general camo as well. That's what I kind of like about this 205. There are other 205s, they're all great, but I just like this kind of like, I don't know, this, it's cool. It's a cool little pattern. Alright, so I'm going to slow myself down here and go to combat flaps. Maybe, just maybe. I don't know if he knows I'm here yet. I think he's trying to crash me into the mountain. I kind of caught it. But now he's on my tail, so. Oh, I think I had another plane come zooming in. I heard it come zooming in. There, yeah, it's a BB-1. I mean, it's not going to do me any good. He might actually pull him off, but I am hurt. My pilot is drastically done. Ah, thank you. Chat spamming, they don't like me to do it so fast. Alright, so I guess I'm gonna have to... Oh look, there's a runway right there. Get down. I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Probably not. I'm gonna have to fire this back up and do a little loop-de-loop here. Gonna probably stall out here. Well, that might not be a bad thing. These guys are doing it right. I'm doing it definitely wrong. Oh shit, oh shit. Ah, crank it to the left, crank it to the left. I don't know if I'm gonna make this, boys. Oh, it's still gonna rearm me. It's gonna take a lot longer. Well, I haven't researched my repair on this anyways, but I haven't played these planes very much. But there we go. Somehow I landed it. Don't know how. Somehow I did. And that's all that matters sometimes. The FW's taking off now. I can hear them. Engines firing up. I'm going to be repaired in 0 seconds here. Oh shit. This BF's coming in. There we go. Got takeoff flaps here. I tend to raise my gear, raise my flaps early. And now I'm fully repaired, so that's kind of nice. Maybe I'll stick with this F-190. It's Focke-Wulf. It's a Focke-Wulf 190. I just love the term, the name, Focke-Wulf. F-O-C-K-E-W-U-L-F. Focke-Wulf. It's just a unique name. So I'm not too sure. I'm gonna try and stick with him. I don't know if that's gonna work, because it looks like I'm actually going faster than him right now. I'm gonna try and slow down, maybe. Feed. Let him feed forward a little bit. See where he's going. So we're on two different planes. See, so he's up tier and I'm the middle tier. So most of the planes are going to see me first because I'm in the same tier. But he's up one, so they're not going to see him right away. So he can sneak in. That's where that altitude advantage comes in. I'm going to actually go after this guy because there are 5 planes shooting at him and nobody seems to have got him. And I accidentally shot my team. I got shot down, but I took him out anyways. So after all that, landing and repairing, I just got shot down shortly after anyways. But I took the plane out. Can't complain. I'm going to run the C202. I don't think we're going to win it just because they've got... I think they've got more tanks. They've got more people attacking our vehicles. So... which is problematic because all of our vehicles, where are all of our vehicles? Not even too sure where they're all at. I feel there's bombers over here though. Because these guns don't usually shoot at things. Well, unless there's something nearby. Anyways, so there's a light pillbox. I was trying to take those out. I never did succeed. I did take out 2 heavy tanks. I'm still proud of those 2 heavy tanks, because that's about the only way you can get modification research on these planes is, you know, you just do what you can as quick as you can. And that's how you build your research for your planes and your mods, I find, anyway. nice. So that's all I really do. I'm probably not even going to reach this guy by the time the mission ends. Yeah, so 13th is terrible. It's not terrible, but for not really having much of a fighting chance on my first couple planes, there's only so much you can do. But you know what? I still enjoyed the round. It's always a fun little round. It has been 3 rounds. I think I'm just going to cap it there. I will see what I can research on my plane here, because I actually have stuff I can research. What was I researching? So that lets me put 250s on this plane. I should probably work on repairing the wings. So I mean, anyways, I hope you all enjoyed that, my little chat there. If you do enjoy this little feed every now and then, a couple videos every now and then, do hit a comment or a like if you liked the video. Otherwise, you all have you can all have a good evening, good night. It is about 9:30 here, so I'll probably be going to bed soon. So yeah, everybody, thank you for watching, if you were watching, or if you're checking it out, and take care, and have yourself a good evening.